play a game.
Welcome to Fort Kent. Something we'll have to say very carefully today. Fort Kent. Anyway, this is 3569. It's a really badly implemented locomotive. And it's old. But the scenarios are supposed to be good. And I've just discovered the Cobra software for TrainSim Classic no longer works. It won't talk to TrainSim Classic anymore. Some would say, fuck. Which of course means I'm limited to this thing, and as we know, the controls in this are backwards compared to TrainSim Worlds. Okay. Don't expect much. Now, where are we going? We're going to go via 22. Alright, where are we? We're up there. We're actually facing the right way. Wow. The points... Points good? Points are good. Never happens. Alright then, let's go. Oh, hang on. Putting it in a direction would help, wouldn't it? How do you do that in the controller? You don't. You use the keyboard. There we go. It's a shithorn rails, you can say that. But this is a very old route. This is like 2012, I think. But in theory, the scenarios are good, so, you know, we'll play it. In theory... Look, the wipers are already running. We appear to have a green. Look at the stunningly amazing graphics. Did they get better? No. It's got a bell? I haven't heard its bell. Me speeding? That never happens. There you go. Be happy, train. Should we get in a cab where it's even worse? Look at that. Amazing. Yep. It's okay. Some of the gauges actually work though. Surprisingly. Not that you'd really do that for that little tiny road. It does have a bell, look at that. Do you know why the bells were originally put in, Rose? So they didn't have to honk the horn at railway crossings. Hello, Andy. I am okay, thank you. Hope you are as well. And just for rails. Because he gets upset if you don't bounce him up properly. Now it's odd that there's a whistle board here. Ooh, and a bumpy bit. Very bumpy bit. But anyway, we're in an ancient version of TrainSim Classic, and we're going to go get some potatoes. Apparently. And it'll take an hour. Apparently. And I can't use my Cobra software because for some bizarre reason it just sits there going, waiting for TSC to start. But it has. Oh. Ooh, proper road. Good enough. So since people have been whining at me, well, sorry, requesting some American freight, we're doing some American freight. Light engine. And knowing this route, we run light engine for 55 minutes and then hook up a carriage and run for 5 minutes with a carriage on it. That seems to be the way this route works, but, you know, that's life. As long as it makes people happy, that's all that matters. And apparently it's in the rain, too. I escaped rain on Friday. It rained on the way to the railway. Rained while we prepped the engines. And then it stopped raining. Which was alright. It was a novelty because I had a trainee with me and I started preparing my engine, only to be told after about an hour, we're changing you out, we're putting you on the engine in the front. It's like, okay. And you have to get it ready and get out of the shed in 30 minutes and put it out the front for a boiler inspection. It's like, okay. And what's been done? Nothing. Okay. Good. Ooh, no headlights. Oh, it does have headlights, look at that. Oh, it's the old shadow casting kind as well. The ones that ruin your frame rate if you have an inadequate GPU. Look at the land. It's so well formed. Imagine if someone released a route that looked like this today. People would be up in arms. It'd be just like Manchester. What? I didn't say that. Oh, like it's actually not a very fun day when you have a trainee, Michael, because you don't get to do very much. Especially when they're okay. You don't have to step in or anything. They're doing all right. The only thing I really got to do is when we got back, I did service the loco at Gembrook and made the guy go have some lunch because we were running late. So I made him have a rest, given he had to fire away home. And the only thing that I really got to do was drive for one of the sections, so didn't even get to fully put the locomotive away and clean it because the crew behind us were running out of hours, so we just had to put ours in the back and be done with it. And it was sort of half cleaned. So the crew the next morning would have absolutely rejoiced that we half cleaned it. They would have been so happy to take it on. Andy says, I'm okay, just struggling in the heat wave. Anything above 25 degrees and is screwed thanks to your health conditions. Well, that's not cool. I'll be there to enjoy your heat wave later in the year. It's been fairly mild here. It's not that cold. Certainly not that cold in the house because the wife left the heater on overnight. So I got up this morning and went, it's warm. And then I thought, I'll wander down to where I stream from and put the heater on. Only to discover it getting warmer and warmer and warmer as I came down here. Because it was already on, blasting away. Michigan Rail fan, hello. How are you? So there's more people watching than in the chat. You're absolutely welcome to chatter and ask questions and do whatever you want. There are no dumb questions. Except why does TSC keep putting my mouse pointer on the locomotive? Thanks, TSC. Ruining the immersion for everybody. As if the high quality graphics hadn't already done that. With this route with all the go vias, you never really know how far you're going to go because they've got all these little points everywhere for doing this local freight. And I think they went a little overboard with the go vias because There is only one track. It's not as though it's choosing the route to get there, because it's, you know, there's not really that many choices, you know? Not really. But that's okay. Smash that like button. Your smashed buttons are not my responsibility. You smash your own buttons under your own free will. This is TSC, yes, Train Simulator Classic. And this is a very classic route, which I think came out in about 2012, called Fort Kent. Which was a bit of a departure from the usual way of doing stuff, because it's not just, hey, go pick up your train, drive it for 2 hours, and stop somewhere weird. It's go and get all the bits of your train. And I think one of the last scenarios is you get to drive your assembled train out of here. There's quite a lot of scenarios. They are a little bit difficult to find because they are standard edition scenarios. And if you turn on the filtered view, the scenarios aren't set up properly. And if you turn on the filtered view, you will not see any scenarios at all. Ooh, 2 tracks. We're spoiled here. That was just for Rails. Because, you know, he needs a bell. He's like a cat. You put a bell around its neck. So it's not the greatest locomotive on the planet. It's not the greatest looking route on the planet. And I don't think they ever made another one like this, which was picking up all the local freight. That went well. I did see the aftermath of a relatively large smash-up in the US. I was watching it yesterday. That looked uncomfortable. Carriages everywhere. Andy's hoping this is the only heatwave this year. Last 3 days been 29. Tomorrow it's 30. Monday, Tuesday expecting 34. Used to love warm weather, but now I dread it coming. I hate to say this, but we're up for an El Nino, which means that it doesn't actually make the temperatures hotter, but what it does do is it stops the air moving around as much. So once it gets hot, it'll stay that way, unfortunately. Not so many cool changes. These light engine jobs are the worst kind of jobs on the railway. Hello, Leon. I am okay, thanks. How are you? As we trundle along the mysterious backwoods of Fort Kent, we follow along the incredibly well-made river and the absolutely amazingly beautiful scenery. It's completely immersive. It's really old. It's kind of okay. In the words of the farmer to the little piglet at the end of the movie, "That'll do, pig. That'll do." It's your birthday on Friday. Last Friday or next Friday? Doesn't really matter. Happy birthday. Look at that scenery. Does it get better than that? Sadly, no. But that's okay. Why are we going so slowly? Oh, look at that. The reverse is gone. Huh. Who knew that could happen? No wonder we were going slower and slower. How interesting. It's just high quality. Mm-hmm. It must have a reverser set up like a steam engine too, because it's not just forward and neutral and backwards. It's got other things. Michigan rail fan said must have been the NS derailment in Georgia after it hit a truck. Watched a few containers on the ground. NSSD 70 ACE, BNSF ES44 also on the ground. And Warren Buffett don't go too happy. There was 3 locos on the ground. And one of them I think is probably a write-off because its frame looks like a banana. And the other 2 are probably cosmetic for the most part. That's nice, Michael. Wishing Leon a birthday. Our second stream today in the evening, about 12 hours away, a little bit less than that now, is Tadami in Train Simulator Classic. Just to remind people, because, you know, I have a feeling it's actually on the way and that we'll see it in the not too distant future. I just want to remind people just how boring it actually is. It will look nice. That's all that matters. Apparently. So when you're actually driving a narrow gauge train at 15 mile an hour, which isn't very fast at all, it's like 24 or 25 kilometers an hour, it feels fast. But that's not. But when you're driving in a simulator at low speed, it does not feel fast. Unless you turn on motion blur, and then it just looks terrible and doesn't feel fast. The other problem with all these little go-vias is you don't really know how far away you are from where you have to stop. Like, these could be our potato box cars, for example, but we won't know that for a little while. Until it says, go via, stop! But I was quite happy with my drive on Friday. I had some really nice long brake runs. So I probably only applied the brakes, I don't know, maybe 8 times coming down the hill. Which is actually quite good. I was quite happy with myself. Loco was doing okay. We'll just ignore what that water's doing over there. Everybody wants flickering water that's going between bright and dark, don't they? Sure. Hey look, we're suddenly producing Gretas. Wow. All of a sudden. Leon's waiting for Tadami. Probably wants Tadami for his birthday, but that didn't happen. Sorry, Leon. Leon thinks the training centre needs a narrow gauge upgrade. Then you could run narrow gauge trains at 100 miles an hour. Round and round and round. You can actually run narrow gauge trains there now, they just don't tell you that. High resolution trees. This is what optimization is. This route is fully optimized for your pleasure. Is that 0.21 miles going down or up? Just going to check. Are we supposed to be going backwards? So we're there. And we're, they are our potato box cars. Look at that. God. Can't train. Let's have a bit more. You can stop. Marley Zarb, hello. You got an 81 class in that livery. It's not a candy delivery, it's before the candy, like 2000. Ah, cool. The 81s are quite a powerful beast. I think power-wise, they're about the equivalent of VRX, I think, from memory. Something like that. Back we go. Now what I should do while we're heading back is make sure the points are set, because they're not. And now they are. I watched a school kid's effort at a found horror movie yesterday, set in the Adelaide Train Museum. And I have to say it wasn't terrible. It wasn't good, but it wasn't terrible. They had one jump scare. Leon likes the horn, it's like trains. Yeah, that bad. Just slow down a little bit since we're not terribly far away from our carriages, despite what it says. Feel a little more under control now. Ooh, what happened then? I think those whistle boards are a bit far from the road. Just saying. Oh look, it's that dovetail thing with power lines that just disappear into the ground. That is their shtick. I thought you'd like that, Leon. Leon's now excited because I've mentioned the Adelaide Train Museum. Will it get down to 5 in time? Maybe. Maybe. Yes. Just. Now go back to Fort Kent. Right. So we're only picking up 2 cars. That's it, huh? Mm-hmm. All right. We'll pretend we've done a brake check. It's all good. You got the dinger working overtime now. You're impressed with the jumbo train, aren't you, Leon? It's an auto electrician. How about that? They call him Otto. Now, I have a faint suspicion we're supposed to go backwards here, so let's just have a look. Show task. Yes, we're going that way. Okay, so let's set the points. And back we go. Eventually. Allegedly, we will stop. Good. Hang on. Let's try that again. Back we go. Back we go. No, I want more notches, not less. Crazy game. Andy says, wonder if Trent Valley will release before the end of the month. Ooh, speculation. I could tell you, but then I'd have to kill you. What was that? Fun fact for you. US trains do not honk the horn when they are propelling stock backwards. Interesting, isn't it? So we'll do that for the rest of the trip. We'll go blind. Not from doing that. As we make our way back to Fort Kent. Leon says they're cool because it sits a cool and classic train sign. Okay. And you're waiting for Bus Simulator 27. I don't know. Bus Simulator, the previous versions haven't actually been that exciting to me. I think there's better bus games. But, you know, we'll give it a crack when it comes out, probably. I'll probably buy it, never play it. Waste of money. Yes. Oh, going a bit quick. We'll ignore that. Don't worry about it. I'm just losing thousands of points per second. Jamie will be sitting there going, because that's what he does. I'll actually have to look it up to answer that question, you know? Let me just do that. Shouldn't be too hard to find out where Fort Kent is, surely. Yeah. Well, something's gone wrong. Oh, that still works. Right. Now we're in business. Well, there's a few. But I'm guessing, given it's a Union Pacific locomotive, I've got 100% brakes on. How'd that happen? Anyway, given it's a Union Pacific locomotive, so it wouldn't be the one in Canada. It's, there's one in New York, and there's one in, what state is this? Maine. It would seem weird to have Union Pacific in Maine, but it appears it actually is this one, because it runs along the river. Well, how about that? We've got Union Pacific in Maine. Wow. How about that? Michael says Seattle, Washington. So it's on that side. That would make sense for the Union Pacific. But there's no Fort Kent that way. Not that I can find. Fort Kent, Washington. Let's search for that. Nah, there's no Fort Kent. Oh, there you go. Pretty Shays. Hello. How was your holiday into the wilderness? Let's call it the wilderness. I was going to say where you went, but I don't know if you've told people that, so I thought I'd better not. We'll call it into the wilderness. You can tell people if you want. And he says, if it's on Game Pass, I might play Bus 727. That's bother, it's got really good reviews. Speaking of Game Pass, I got a notification because I have Nitro on Discord to support my server. And I got a notification that you get Game Pass for free with it. So I had to look at it. All I can say is, in the words of the Admiral, it's a trap. It's not actually full Game Pass. It's Game Pass Starter Edition, that one they give away for free occasionally. So it's a rotation of about 50 games, and they change every month. And they're not generally new stuff. So if you don't have Game Pass, and you have an Xbox and you have Nitro, it's a good thing. If you do have Game Pass, don't give it up in favour of the one from Nitro, because you'll be sad. So it's a gimmick, in other words. Leon says, the trees are cool, look like the Adelaide Hills. If they look like the Adelaide Hills, mate, they'd be on fire. British Station was fabulous. The place was Munich, beautiful city. I hope you have captured, well, I already probably imagine you have, much video to share with people. You caught something on the flight back home from Italy. Well, as long as it wasn't Ebola. It's not unusual to catch a cold or something like that in a plane, because they're you're stuck in a big tube with people, and the air goes from the back to the front. So if someone's sick in the back, it goes to the front. Even the rich people are not immune to it. Hope these points are set right. We'll soon know. Plenty of shorts works well. It works quite well for me, a mix of real railway shorts and long forms of the games. Seems to work quite well. Especially now for those people who have the experimental feature where they can turn on notifications for one or the other. They don't have to have them on for both. These random piles of logs everywhere, and clearly Rivet Games have been here. Rivet Games beaver trees. And he says, good to know, I was thinking of switching from Game Pass to Nitro when it's due for renewal, so I won't bother now. Yes. Yeah, what a strange thing to find in my pants. Leon says, it'd be fine because of Gawler Town and Adelaide got too many houses and people population. Well, that's not a good reason to set fire to it. If you're wondering why I'm mentioning fire, the Adelaide Hills tend to burn every summer. And the people who live there pretend it's never happened before and go, oh, it's so terrible. I think there's a crossing there. Yeah, there is. British Ace says, bad cold, almost lost your voice yesterday, his throat blocked. Worst cold in a while. Italian flu. Ooh. That'd make streaming difficult. Make your job difficult too, for that matter. Hope you have some sick leave. I do see that the first Southern train is in the new livery. And interesting to see it's Great British Railways - Southern. So it's still Southern. They haven't gotten rid of the regions. The regions have been there since what, the 1930s, 1940s? Still there. Never going away. Oh, Leon says Adelaide chops down trees for home and no farm. Yes. Don't forget you can still walk across Adelaide, though. It's not the biggest city in the world. I do occasionally visit, let's call it a sister organisation, because I don't really want to reveal where I work, because I get enough crazies as it is. And I visit a sister organisation in Adelaide occasionally. And I've been known to walk from the airport instead of getting a taxi. Because, you know, it's not very far. Andy's mum also sick. That's no good. British Air's very much made announcements difficult. No sick leave. Toughing it through. Rest day tomorrow. It's 31 degrees tomorrow, so not relaxing. Well, lie out in the sun. It'll kill you cold. It might kill you too, but it'll kill you cold. Oh, I've done that again. That's because I'm used to the sticks moving the camera around, but they don't. Leon hates his new home because he likes the view and nature too much. Plant some trees, Leon. Andy says, crazy people, you're talking about us lot in the Discord. No. No. The crazy comments that you get. You guys don't see all the comments that turn up on the videos because YouTube eats a lot of them. I go and read them all, even the ones that it says are grossly offensive or disgusting, because I'm curious, because I'm like that. But I don't let it publish a lot of them. I still get attacked quite regularly by fans of that other channel. British A says, yeah, GBR. You want a southern green. Well, the good news is it's only a wrap, so you can pull them off fairly easily. And one of the really cool things that wraps do in heat waves is they bubble. So you'll have to learn a new skill, popping the bubble, so that the wrap settles back down onto the carriage. That would be fun. Hello, Psych. I thought you might appear, given you were commenting on my videos. I'm glad they do better cliffs and better water these days, because these are terrible. But, you know, is what it is. Yes, Leon, lol YouTube. I have to say, credit to YouTube and the Goog. The filters that stop really bad things, offensive things getting through are very, very good. And they allow the creator the option of whether they release them or not. And I tend to have a look at them when they're tame. I do. Because I don't care if people criticize me. That's perfectly fine. They can do that. But I do care if it's really offensive to somebody. So I do just let it eat those ones, because if you just ignore them, after 30 days they disappear. You don't have to do anything. I'm not a big reporter. I just let them sit. I haven't actually seen you stream for a while, Joe, but that's probably because of our time zone shifts. You went one way and we went the other way. I'll probably see you again when we get back together. My summer, your winter. Mind you, it's not too far off seeing you anyway, because it's May. I'll be there in August. I had better check the map, and let's put some brakes on too, actually. Let's just put some brakes on. and then go back to checking the map and seeing where we're supposed to be going, because we're supposed to go to the potato warehouse. So we've actually missed the switch. All right, because we're supposed to go there. Yay! We'll brake gentrally because we don't want to bruise the potatoes. As long as they don't go past the signal, I don't really care. I did miss my turn off again. You got 378 train route for Train Sim World. That's cool. And Leon wants potatoes for everybody. Alright, you can stop now. Honest. It's just while that's not stopping, let's go back and set the points. It is literally a potato train, psych. Just roll our way back onto the potatoes. Do it slowly so we annoy all of the motorists. Who, of course, being the US, they are travelling, not driving. Sovereign citizens, where would we be without you? The world would be a whole lot less funnier without people like that. Leon, your brain is amazing. Leon says, it would be funny if the boxcar was hot. You get hot baked potatoes. They are very funny traffic stop videos, like. Back at the Fort Kent rail yard. Let's do a turnaround on the Y as you enter Fort Kent rail yard, cab forward. Now, let me just check where said Y is. No, we need to go back to it. And we'll have to do a turnaround, so we need to set all the points. Points look good, actually. Okay. Leon watched a funny video of Train Sim World Mad Boss. Anything go wrong in railway? There is a video that's actually quite abusive of Matt circulating at the moment. It's personally abusive, not criticising the game in any way at all. So it's not cool. It's fine to criticise games, but criticise the game, not the people. Whee! Why were there people up there? Okay, weird. I think we passed the sighting by now. I need to know, why are there all these people up here? Whee! Just standing around. What's going on there? Oh, gone. Problem solved itself. There's another one. Whoop. Well, that one's not solving itself. How weird. Well, it's just all hanging around the back of the warehouse. No one will find us here. Yep. Yeah, okay, now it does move with the camera. Never mind. So if that video does pop up in your feed, regardless of what you think of the state of the game, which isn't amazing, we all know that, please consider reporting the video, because it's not really good. Why am I suddenly only allowed to do 15 miles an hour? That's because I'm going back into the siding because I'm an idiot. Hey, where's my brakes? I've got no brakes. No! Okay, so when you're on 8 cam, your brakes don't work. Perfect. Look at that. Doesn't get better than that, does it? Now, in real life, that would take rather a long time to recharge. Not the instantness that we'll have here. No one saw a thing, right? Through the car, why not? There's a short of Matt. It's someone starting the fairly traditional cash grab videos a couple of months early, but this one's actually quite abusive. I'd suggest reporting it for bullying if you find it and you choose to report it, because that's what it is. Oh, brakes don't work again. Good. So if you want to operate your train from a distance like a model railway, you can't because the brakes don't work. Good. Right, let's try that again. Brakes off would be good. Let's try that again. Syke says, I will bollow. Matt's a good guy and not let anyone speak ill. He's a good human. He is. I can't think of the last time I played TS Classic with a controller, to be honest. Because usually my TSCX or the rail driver work fine, but for whatever reason the Cobra software doesn't pick up TSCX anymore, or TSC, which is a bit of a bummer, and I forgot to honk for that crossing, and my thumbstick just got stuck. Sorry. No, down. Andy says, okay, unfortunately it does pop up in my feed. I'll definitely report it. The game is not in a perfect state by any means. No need to get personal and attack people. Yes, very much. There certainly are some issues with the game. I've had lots of chats with Alex and JD about issues with the game, as have quite a few of the other ambassadors. I can tell you there is listening. I can't really tell you anything more than that, though. Ooh, the double wide. Magnificent. The Y going onto a bridge is an interesting choice. Because you'd have to go all the way across the bridge before you stopped. So your brakeman could walk back and set the switch. Which actually is what it's doing, interestingly. We are going all the way back. Or have we passed it? Show task. No, we've already passed it. Yeah, I think we've already passed it. We shall stop before we get to the road. It'll be fine. Now let's set some points. Oh, the game already has. Look at that. Magic. And then we're going back into the yard. But where are we actually going to go? We're going to go via X25. So those points are set correctly. And we're going to couple them to the back of the engine at Potato Warehouse. So FTK1. It's none of those. And we're going to be running up that track. Oh, there. Okay. FTK1. So we're going to go and get that. And maybe that. Maybe them. I don't know. We'll figure it out when we get there. It'll be fine. So we should. No, the other way. Oh, look at those trees. That's a little skinny. That's okay. Not really. Off you go, train. Back to Fort Kent. Sykes says his Xbox controller's left shoulder button busted. Had to drive trains with CTBC and no separate train brake for a few weeks now. Too lazy to grab a keyboard. I don't think this video was by Maverick, no. He doesn't usually attack people. Amusingly enough, he comments on me occasionally and then pretends to be besties whenever he talks to me. As though I don't know. Round we go, having reversed our train, back onto the main line. with more power lines disappearing into the dirt. Brilliant. I don't know who it is in Dovetail's graphics department that thinks power lines ever just disappear into the dirt, but they clearly have not ever met physics. Sykes says the new cars will be potatoes processed into chips. Possibly. There's our potato cars over there at the potato warehouse. There's some people having a picnic. One of them disappeared. See, that's the train you're gradually putting together through the scenarios. And eventually you get to leave with it. No, up, up, up. No! Stupid controller. It'll stop eventually. And we're going to come back and get those. So we want two of them. 242 and 177. Would it surprise you if it's those two? Wouldn't surprise me if it was those two. Back we go to get some more spud boxes. Bing, 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 bing. I was just looking at what the cars are doing and then going, I think I set those points. Yes, they're curving round again. Good. It's interesting you can't even see the other cars on the track. That's how modern this route isn't. We'll go bonk into the first one. And then bonk into the second one. And stop. So we need to place them on track 3 in the Fort Kent rail yard, and we're going via 26. Wait. Which one's track 3? Yard 3's that one. And going via 26, so we are going to go all the way up there. That'll be 26 right there underneath those points. So at the moment the points are not set for us, so we'll fix that. And we have to go through those ones, because we've got to come back onto this track here. Yard 3, which is that one, which those points are set correctly, those ones are not. Go on. Now they are. And those ones are set fine, so good. Don't ask me why the reverser changed then. I don't know. This is Fort Kent. Psych. Neighbours' dogs are going off. Yes. It is the weekend of scabs. It's all that banging. Weird. It's the one weekend a year we get to put out all of the larger rubbish, things like machines and busted stuff and all those kinds of things for collection. And of course all the copper scabs come around to pull the machines apart and make a mess everywhere to get their copper out of them. To the point that we keep anything large, we don't even put it out until the trucks come. Andy reckons Maverick's going down the TSS route recently in the videos. Keeps mentioning TSS channel, most of the videos saying how good TSS is and the only one telling the truth. Yeah, that's how Donald Trump works. So, you know, it's a good method. It works quite well. So if he wants to join the clickbait land, that's fine. He can do that. It's his choice. It's his channel. Do whatever he wants. He'll probably make a video about me now, because I said that. Now, did I come far enough then? I think so, yes. Actually, I didn't need to change those points, did I? In fact, the game has changed them for me. See? It's changed these ones. I had them over that way. But that's okay. We can go back this way. That's fine. I don't care. Let's bring this down a bit and see what's going on. And I think you'll find lots of people talking about the state of TSW. It's not unique. The difference is some of us work with Dovetail to get things changed and make sure they understand what the community is actually feeling. And like I said, I think you weren't here when I said it, Psych, but I can tell you there's been a lot of listening. I can't tell you anything else at this point in time. Is that really going to end up with us on yard 3, or are we going to end up on yard 4? No, yard 3. We're good, I think. Yeah, we're fine. No? No, we're not. We're going on yard 4. Well, thanks, game. Thanks for changing the points that I had and then pretending it was okay. Because now we have to stop. See, should have done, had it set up the way I wanted to have it set up when it changed the points, it would have been okay. Right, off we go again. Syke says, lol, my big beautiful train channel, which no one talking about fake news, Kamala. Yes. Never mind. I guess the most important thing is that the gullible have someone to listen to. That's what matters. think I had a couple of fans of those two channels watching, because a few people have just left. Either that or it's my incredibly competent driving, one or the other. Not sure. And that's okay. Either way is okay. Alright, now we go back down there, set that one, and I want that one set the way it is, so we end up in yard 3 this time. Good. Okay. Back we go. That looks better. Did I miss a delicious pun? Andy says, last couple of releases outside of the Richard Class 90 have been much better, so hoping they're finally starting to turn the corner and get things back on the track. I think things are going the right way, yes. Are we there yet? No. But we're going the right way. Andy says, might just be UK viewers starting to head out to fall asleep due to the time. Could be. Or it could be people tuning out. Doesn't worry me. Ooh, weirdness. That's what I love about old routes. They just do weird things. Right way, wrong way, railway indeed. The podcast is reawakening for another year, so I've decided to do 6 episodes a year. Because I think I did 8 last year, and that was a little bit too many to be sustainable. So I think 6 is the way to go, because it's, you know, it's like a one-person podcast. If I had a team, doing more would be okay, but I don't have a team. Because there's actually a bit of work in putting a podcast together. A lot more than videos, I have to say. We're going a long way back. I actually kind of think I should probably stop before it once, because we're going to come out of the siding if I keep going that far. Maybe. Maybe not. But I think we will. It's interesting, it makes brake squeak noises when it's slowing down, even without the brakes on. Hello, Lord Victron, how are you? That is definitely going to pop out the back of the siding before we get to our stopping point. So I think we'll just stop here and uncouple. Because if I don't, those cars are going to be on the points. Your liege, psych. Wow. And he says, personally, as long as they keep making progress, even if it's slowly, then I can accept that. Anyone expecting every issue sorted out in one go is not being realistic. It will not happen. This is very true. It will take a while. It will certainly take a while. All the people standing around at Fort Kent passenger station as though they'll see a passenger train. But there really aren't any. I was actually quite impressed with myself yesterday with one of my stops on the real railway, because I was bringing in a train which just fit in the platform because there was another set in there, and I had to stop with my rear pony wheels just at the point blades of the intermediate crossover, but not on them, and I was really happy I managed it. I do love that the controls are backwards on TSC compared to TSW with the controller. Yep. Yeah, it makes it so much easier. Every time you want to accelerate, you brake, and every time you want to brake, you accelerate. Perfect. Yeah, this train was made up almost entirely of our new cars, which have a slightly more modern braking system in them. They're quite nice to run, I have to say, when most of the trains got them. Daniel Robert Jowett, hello. How are you? Welcome. We're just saying people in the UK are probably dropping off due to sleep time, but then you appear. Apparently we're done. Didn't get to stop, but we're done. Okay, next. So I'll show you what I mean with this. If you try and filter on Fort Kent, let's just put that in there and go Fort Kent. Well done. Fort Kent, perhaps. That worked well. Now I don't have a mouse. Where's my mouse gone? Come on. But anyway, if you try and filter them, it doesn't work. So what you have to do is just scroll the list. Scroll the list. Scroll the list some more until we get back to Fort Kent. And delivery to Eagle Lake Gravel. That's a long one. You've been to most places. You're on the whole route. Eagle Lake Gravel is the large facility that keeps the line open from Fort Kent to Eagle Lake. Will we do that one, or we do some smaller ones? I think we should do some smaller ones, maybe. Eagle Lake gravity switching, or gravel switching, I'm guessing. Gravel haul to Fort Kent. Textile deliveries. Winter run. Classifying. Potato restock. Let's try that one. Hornby Man, hello, welcome along. Flower Power, hello, welcome along. Hope you're well. Yeah, we do appear to be in a different yard with the same shitty locomotive, but that's okay. This route only comes with one locomotive. Go via X6. And we're sitting on X6, it's right there. And then what are we going to do? We're going to go to the loader. We're going to couple some cars. We're going to loader 2. So we should set some points, shouldn't we? So that looks good. Down there, down there. And that one. And that'll take us down to loader 2, which is what we want. Okay. Hornby Man likes class 50s. Start with the hoppers on the left, then the right. Very good. When do textiles become clothes? Oh, when they get all sewn up. Or maybe they've been criminals and they get stitched up. Who said that? Hornby Man asks if I like the 50 or the 20. I'm going to say I like the 20 because I've driven it and I've never driven a 50. If you can manufacture an opportunity for me to drive a 50 when I'm there, I'll let you know. And Vectron ages ago said surely those locos at Puff can stop immediately. Of course they can. When they by themselves, sure. Bonk. And of course, in reality, someone would get out, check the hoses, take off the handbrakes, all that sort of thing. You wouldn't be taken off again straight away, but we are. They look remarkable like they're full of coal, don't they? At least it's a different shitty locomotive. It's not the same shitty locomotive. I do have a soft spot for the 20 psych. I quite like the machine. I would love to be able to take one out in a proper mainline run sometime at full speed. That would be awesome. And while I have had my quiet couple of operations on the main line that we won't speak about ever, haven't had a 20. Hornby Man likes a class 20 double header. Sounds like a plan. And he reckons it's still too warm for me to even try and sleep, so relaxing in the garden watching. Fair enough. It is annoying when it stays hot at night time. At some point, the people of the UK are probably going to have to start thinking about air conditioning. I've started booking the hotels for the August trip. I booked as much as I could afford because I got a free breakfast deal from Premier. Take them to the El Grav Orcs track. That sounds like someone who should be a drug dealer or something. El Grav. Yeah. Could be a really unexciting drug dealer named Gavin, maybe. Right, so where are we going? We're going there. So we're going right out. And then we're going to go into... What's that one? El Grav Orcs. Extra. Shipping, receiving. A and B. Orcs. There it is, up there. Okay, so we've got to go up there. So we are going to... We may as well change those points now, even though the game will probably change them for us. So we don't have to go out past the signal, so that's alright. Better be careful of that signal too. Better actually keep an eye on that, eh? Flower Power says this is similar to a Milwaukee Division model railway that I helped run in the UK. That's nice. I have to say, one thing that people in the UK do magnificently is model railways. Your average American model railway, the ones you see in the magazines, they are enormous. I doubt that everybody has a layout that big. But you see the most amazing UK layouts, and the Aussies have followed a similar thing because there's not that much space. No one has these giant whole floors of a building to devote to a railway. There's so much detail in such a small space, and hats off to the people that do that. I've built model railways. They don't look like the ones you see in clubs and magazines. I was actually dismantling my most recent one, which was still in our old house, because we're selling the house. Mainly because I want to pay for this one, because as you can't tell, I'm getting a little bit older, and I don't like having $500,000 in debt hanging around my neck. Hornby Man says the UK has faster diesels than the US. I actually doubt that, to be honest. Alright, you go out on the road there. We don't need to, but you can. You can go out across the crossing if you want to. That's fine. And we are set. We're going in there. Very good. Oh, where'd that bloody thing come from? I can hear a sound like someone weeing in a toilet. I'm sure it's supposed to be a creek or something. There is a creek over there, I think, on the other side of the train. How did you get the sound effect for your creek? Well, I recorded me weeing in the toilet. Perfect. So it's like a waterfall. Daniel says, I have to sleep during the day, though the week it's only Saturday night. I end up sleeping through the night. And hopefully you start getting used to the heat, because it's probably not going to go away, unfortunately. Michael says, I'll be setting up my AC soon. Psych, we start warming on the west coast. Andy says, I hated trying to sleep during the day in heat waves. Daniel is nigh on impossible through the week. Daniel's used to it. Flower Power says the owner has a huge layout with over 400 feet of main line, all fantastically detailed. That's cool. The one I just dismantled was a logging railway. A lot of people hanging around here, aren't there? We are just going to block the road, because why not? It does appear to be what it wants. Wants the road blocked. In reality, you'd separate the carriages, but I don't think I'll do that. Because it will probably mess the scenario up, but you would break them so that you didn't block the road. Whee! Doink! Now move the empty gravel cars to the loaders. Where are the empty gravel cars? Where are they? Mm-hmm. Sure, where are they? All the way down there? Alright. It was 2 extra we want, wasn't it? Yep. They're set, and we'll go forwards to those points and then come back. Okay. Good-o. Like the dog food, good-o. I wish the controller worked when you're in the 8 key, because I'd much rather watch this shunting than do it. Psych says, buy TSW DSC or build a model railway, doing both as dollars. Yes! I've still got all the trains from my model railway. Most of them are on display in the cupboard, or the engines are anyway. Now, do I trust that the game left the points alone and just go for it? Of course we do. What could go wrong? What could possibly go wrong? Hornby Man says steam trains are bigger than the US. You haven't actually been to America, have you, Hornby Man? There's something about that country. Everything has to be bigger. So no, UK does not have bigger steam trains than the US does. You have a lot more. The UK is much better at preservation than the US is. Start with the empty hoppers on the left, move to the loader, and then do the same with the hoppers on the right. Psych says Foley artists are pretty ingenious. This is true. Foleys and grips are 2 people that you see listed in the credits for a film, and you never really know what they do, but they both do very, very cool things. Andy has spoken to the other half about getting AC fitted to the house, but still so bloody expensive she's reluctant to spend that amount on it. They're so common here that they're actually not that expensive. An aircon that can do about half your house is about $3,000 here. And if you've got gas heating, there's a government incentive to get rid of gas heating, and you can have a rebate for installing electric heating, which you can kind of make reverse cycle so that it will cool as well as heat. I'm actually going to do that after we get rid of this other house, because I just don't want 2 major things on the go at the same time. Off we go to the gravel loader. Psych says show her the Dyson fan prices, maybe she'll go for it. If you do get AC, Andy, make sure you get a split system so that the noisy bit's outside. They're cheaper to run the The split system inverter is cheaper to run than a box as well. There's probably great money to be made for Australian aircon providers to set up shop in the UK. UK housing structures are so close to each other, you may have to deal with angry neighbours if you're running your aircon at night time though. That should do the job. Good job. He never watches where he's going, does he? Old mate in the train here. And he says, I work shifts, so I could never get fully used to it, Daniel, as by the time I started, I get used to my shifts change back to day shifts. Yeah, it's annoying when your shifts flop around. My other half used to do shifts working for a airline. And it was always a pain in the ass because you could never plan anything because you never really knew whether it was going to be a day or a night the next week. Daniel says, not too bad, bedroom back of the house, and that's where the shade is. That's good. And you're always on night, so you don't have to worry about that. That's good. And he says, Problem Site still has the mentality for a couple of weeks a year, so not cost effective to do it. I would suggest if you're getting heat now, you're still going to have heat in August. And after she's had the air conditioner for a little while, I think you'll find she'll wonder how she ever did without it. So, you know, as they say in the ads, just do it. Psych wants to know if fluffers are important, people. Of course they are. And of course the other job site that you haven't mentioned, stretchers. Also known as conditioners. And he says, yeah, they're talking about offering grants for installing heat pumps here as well. So if they do, I'll definitely look into it. If you get one, go for one of the reputable brands. Things like Mitsubishi, Daikin, Panasonic, because there's an awful lot of cheap and cheerful Chinese ones out there and they are really bad. They're very inefficient. I can save you Googling it, Psych. They're the people that make holes that aren't meant to be used in daily life for that sort of activity into a size that they'll actually work. It's interesting how these cars are already half full, isn't it? And I think next we need to do a mainline gravel run. It feels like a plan. After we've finished our shunting here. Good job. Go via 6. Okay. Thinking of conditioning in a totally different context. At the end of the run on Friday, I commented to the trainee that he looked a bit tired, and he said he was, and said, and he's a staff member as distinct from a volunteer, and I said, how are you going to feel when you have to do that for 7 days straight? Because that's your future life. For some funny reason, I'm vaguely paranoid about that signal on the other side of the road crossing down there. Because I assume we're just putting this thing away now. Here we are. So I've done the go via 6, clearly. But no, doesn't believe me. Alright, now it's happy. X44, where's that? There, okay. Fine then. And you got to be careful, Psych, you'll get a visit from Ofcom. Don't want your pawn license. That should be the end of this scenario. And I think I saw a gravel run thing there, so we'll do that next up. Alright, so we'll take the loaded hoppers to Fort Kent. Very good. B. Good-o. Must do some of these routes one of these days. I've had so many of them. So we want to go to Gravel Hall to Fort Kent. Is that it? Because we've just done those. So I guess it's this one. So we'll do this. So this is where we were meant to stop, clearly. As distinct from where I did. We're going via the Orcs. Really? All the way down there? So we want to come and get these three. Okay. Fair enough then. But they're not gravel. That bloke just said, I'm going to murder you. Look at the Gretas.
How dare you?
You knew she'd come out eventually. Whee! Londo Spark says, not Ofcom, that's utter cruelty. Syke says it's inevitable someday. It will happen. Not as bad as the telly license people. I actually follow a guy who is having a war with the TV license people. And I have to say he's quite enjoying it. And he's got plenty of money to annoy them. And he does. I wonder if we're going to pick up some gravel as well. Hope so. Better check where X4 is. It is there. Good. And we've got a green. X4, X6, and then we're going to go and get the ones at the gravel loader. Okay, good. Sausages full of chemicals. That's what we want. Londo says they do like to post out free firelighting materials and sending people around from one door to door slamming practice with. I'd love to meet a TV license person. It'd be efficient, wouldn't it, if they teamed up with the Jehovah's? Now we have to go up to that set of points all the way up there, so that's fine. I think we can still stop before the road and still have room. Set the others, because we want to go loader 1, I think. Loader 2. Loader 2's first. Back there, all good. Shift HH. Back we go. Andy says, I'm lucky, Londo. I have ring cameras. If I see them, I just ignore them. They soon get bored and bugger off. And Londo says, you really don't want to meet someone who does that job. Most are failed coppers with a bag of chips on their shoulders. Londo says, I have one too, but sometimes saying no thank you and shutting the door can bring satisfaction. Oh, stick left is what makes the HUD appear and disappear. Okay. I think I would enjoy communicating with people like that. They're my kind of people. Yeah, we've gone out of reverse again. What's going on there? And that's actually the other way around. We want to be forwards, don't we? That's better. The other forwards. When the physics turned on for those carriages, they almost fell over. That was funny. Well, even the people are one-dimensional. Yeah, it is an old route. And that signal is green, so I don't have to worry about that, which is good. This car here is almost falling over. I'll just leave that to stop in its own sweet time. It should. The keys still work when you're not on the locomotive, which is interesting. But not the controller. Wonder why it's different. Back we go to get the rest of our gravel. Londo Spark says, I would not want to admit that even parking wardens are seen as more honourable. We have newfangled parking in the city thing where I work. We have the old-fashioned kind who still put chalk on the tyres and print little tickets out of their machines, but we also have the new ones that just drive around, and when they find someone, it just automatically issues them a ticket. Did that couple, or did it just miss? No, my luck, it just missed. We'll call that a safety stop, shall we? Head for Fort Kent. Very good. Other end. Are you ready, little unit? We're going there backwards the whole way. In reality, you'd walk the train and check all the hoses are hooked up and do a continuity test at the back and all those kinds of things, but not on this railway. Nah, we do it half-assed. This train might actually be heavy, you know that? That was just for Rails of Illinois, putting the bell on. He loves a bit of Beelzebub, he does. Excuse me. As we roll out of Eagle Lake. And the potatoes have multiplied. Londo Sparks' last weekend somewhere had probably not even heard of electricity. That is Abergwynolan, yes, very much so. No, everything's backwards. You are at Abergwynolan. Abergwynolan in the Welsh spelling is interesting. Oh, it's a boat. I thought there was a car in the lake. Thought, that's funny. Whee! Backwards again. We'll pretend that was 4, okay? It's fine. Should probably go over this side. Ah, go that way. I hate this control scheme. It's backwards. Londo Spark says, well pronounced. I'm sure you've heard my boring story. When I fired on Talathin, everything that you, every time you pass the section, you have to read out the tokens to the driver so that the driver can inspect and you and the driver agree that that's what the token says. And most of them were fairly easy. Until we got to Abergwynolan. We've gone out of reverse again. Just you, Lord Vectron, I think. Stream looks okay to me. And the reason, Londo, is that you just wanted me to say it. And Londo says, many Welsh place names are interesting, some more interesting than places themselves. Yes, Richie can say that name, I can't. Yeah, I think we did discuss Talathin when I was at the Severn Valley. Ooh, another big black artifact. Fantastic. Andy says quite a few Welsh names look just like someone dropped a box of Scrabble on the floor and went, yeah, that looks like a good name for this place. They are a bit like that. Vectron says, realised I'm slicing a model for my 3D printer. It's a lot more complex than it seems, making the computer chug. One of the guys on the railway has been taking pictures of people on the railway recently and reproducing them in 3D and giving to them on their next shift. He's doing it from a photo. Londo reckons, Andy, imagine playing Scrabble in Welsh. The cheating would be astonishing. You'd get sick of this train if you lived around here, wouldn't you? You were also at the world premiere of a movie. Fair enough. Which one? Flat railways are so boring. I like mine where it's up and down and up and down and up and down, more than a porn movie. I'm not drunk, I've only had a bottle of wine. Showed a 4K remaster of the Titfield Thunderbolt in Kings after Tim Dunn did a pub quiz there. Ah, cool. Probably not. If you're a rail enthusiast, listen to horns all day. Yes, some would. Look, coos. Maximum conditioning indeed, psych. I still think that lead car's going to fall over. Londo says, what is this flat of which you speak? How would you run a gravity train on that? Not well. If you took a gravity train on our railway to Gembrook and rode it down the hill, you'd probably hit 100 mile an hour by the bottom if you were still on the tracks. because it's 1 in 30. Londo says, watch that coughing, coughs and sneezes, spread diseases. Well, we've got a diseasel today, so yes. Yeah, I think I caught a cold from my trainee on Friday, as he was coughing a little bit. Being in the cab with the bloke all day does that to you. Andy says, must say I didn't realise how picturesque your railway was till I watched that video today. Some stunning scenery. It's a bit of an illusion, to be honest. In some places that forest is like this deep. Because we do pass through quite a lot of towns. Londo says, gravity trains have brakes, you know, although Aussies would see that as a challenge. Yes. There is somewhere on my other channel, not this one, a video of a trolley ride that was done in, let's just call it the early days, where trolleys weren't considered to be trains, so we didn't have speed limits and we didn't need section authorities. And there was a roll down the hill in the dark at about 3 o'clock in the morning. That never happened, and I was never there. And all you can hear in this video is of the track joints. And each of our tracks is 32 feet long, so that should give you an idea how fast that thing was going. It wasn't slow, let's put it that way. There is a full run on my channel which is done by a trolley called 12 Minutes to Gembrook. I think it's 11.58 minutes, but just saying. That's a good one to watch because you see the whole thing very quickly because it's a time lapse. I put up a run from Lakeside to Menzies Creek yesterday, bunker first. And Dave drove that one, and I drove the next section, which is Menzies Creek to Belgrave, so that one is up on YouTube, but it's not published yet. I'll put that up next week sometime. I'm trying to put up a members first video around the weekend sometime, when I have a moment to do it, each week. So it stays on members, and then on the Monday it becomes public. Just as a bit of a thank you to all the people who buy memberships. Londo said, did I ever tell you about the photo charter at Talathin, that I certainly didn't have to get back before the co-op shut, and we weren't told to not, and we were told not to get speedometers out. Ah, well, you know, it's not a very long railway, the Talathin, but it's a fun railway. My railway was a lot like Talathin, but let's just say it's lost that charm from an operational perspective. Londo says the Flying Falcons earned that name. I hope you didn't find any sheep that day. We ended up coming back late on our second trip of the day because we had to follow 2 sheep down the railway line. I should talk the other half into visiting Twin or Tarwin, because we haven't worked out the Wales part of the trip yet. All the Scotland stuff's bought and paid for. Syke says, here's a challenge. Can you run the Bakerloo on time, perfect stops, no speeding? The schedule is cursed. It's very difficult, Syke. It can be done if you drive like an AI. But no, most people can't do it. And I'm not going to tell you I can do it. Londo says we've done that before. I had to brake well in the car to avoid some on that very fun valley road. Did you forget to go on the road to Talathin to Tarwin? Talilin. I did, yes. I got driven around in the Railway Discovery, which I think was made in about 1892 and was probably at one point in its life pulled by a horse. And it didn't have a lot of metal left in it, let's just say that. But the clapped out thing still got there and still went up the hills and round the corners and still started and stopped. It worked. Andy Lad says it's impossible. I actually have seen people do it, but it takes a lot of concentration. So it can be done, but no, not easy, not by a long way. I don't think I've ever seen a police car that looks like that. It's like half a taxi. Weren't we here just before getting potatoes or something? Londo says, it is possible. One has to employ the driving method known as grip it and rip it. Yes. Just ignore the speed limits, they're fine. And it can't fall over, it just rubs on the walls. Vectron says, I have it on good authority that grip it and rip it is prototypical driving. It actually is on a commuter railway. And it did look like a police Volvo, Londo Spark, in America. Andy wants to know why there's a UK police car in the US. Oh, they probably sneaked over when no one was watching. ICE hasn't found them yet. Londo has had the Bakerloo in orbit. Excellent. I actually discovered I was going through my videos yesterday. I was doing some video on a station in the Bakerloo and videoed the train coming into the platform. And I thought I'd turned the camera off, but I didn't. So I have a full run of the Bakerloo, of the people in the Bakerloo. And I have to say it's kind of amusing. I might put it up. Londo says they wouldn't know how to drive a manual. Can you imagine American cops in a Volvo? They wouldn't know how to keep up with anything without a V8. So you can't turn wipers off. Okay. Just let them run then. It's fine. In America, they call it a stick, not a manual. Londo reckons his inline 5 Volvo could give most US V8s a run for their money. You probably haven't met a Charger. I do have to say the Sound like there was a cat on my thing. It does. I have to say, the US have actually mastered the principle of not only going very fast in a straight line, but turning corners these days. The modern Charger is quite the beast. I'm sure there's a cat near me somewhere snoring. I can't see it. I can hear it. I don't know if you guys can. It's interesting you can't see it from this angle. Oh, yes you can. Look at that car. Let it go. It's almost going to go over. How fast would I have to go for that car to turn turtle? With its little feet in the air. Londo asks, can they make right turns as well as left turns? There was a very famous car called the Etzel that used to actually catch fire on tight left corners because it used to short out some wiring. That's my controller, that noise. But there is also a cat snoring. Ooh, road. Andy says, easy way to beat an American car is take it on a windy road for a race. Things will not get round the first corner. The new ones do actually manage that quite well these days. Over the big bridge. Gratuitous bridge shot. I was going to do a screenshot, but I forgot what this thing was. It's that one. Tree Sim Classic World. The only Fort Kent I could find was in Maine, but it doesn't explain why it's running Union Pacific. But I think was it Michael who said there's one in Washington? But I couldn't find one in Google Maps. Washington would make sense with the Union Pacific, but I didn't find one. But maybe it's the town that's gone. It would be plausible. They do just vanish occasionally. If it was Maine, we'd see Stephen King somewhere. And judging by all the tree stumps, rivets been here. Sykes says the whole town does seem to congregate at the potato factory and the aggregate loader. Yes, nothing else for them to do. What are you going to do? We're going to go to the potato place. What are you going to do there? We're going to look at potatoes. Eagle Lake in Texas. This doesn't look like Texas. Are there any more Eagle Lakes, Michael? Could be like Portland. There's about 26 of them. Texas looks more like the Middle East. There was a girl yesterday along the line of my railway. Whoa, look at the cars! Oh, I think it went much faster. They'd be upside down. But there was this girl, unusual female rail fan, and she was set up with all of her cameras on tripods and things next to the railway. One very close to the engine, but far enough that we weren't going to hit it. And she kept making the whistle sign, and she looked so pissed off when it didn't happen. Andy says Fort Kent Subdivision is in Maine. Why has it got a Union Pacific locomotive? Let me guess, that's one they had, so they used it. But there's UP cars as well. That doesn't make sense in Maine. Yeah, an actual girl, psych. Suppose we should, so we're going to go into yard 4, which is that one. Of course the road's not set for yard 4, is it? There we go, be right now. That's red. Uh-oh. Sphincter moment. Come on, you can stop. Come on. Don't make me go into emergency. Well, no. Well, clearly it's not actually a red signal. Why was it red anyway? It's red in all directions. And there's a yellow there. And a yellow there. Why is it so? I don't know. I don't think it really is red. Because it didn't spad me. Don't worry about the train taking forever to pump up. We'll just pull against it. Psych says, I love it when the crossings are so close you end up with hybrid 14L sequences that just keep going. Yes, it's a bit silly. It's a bit like Caltrain. You just start honking at the start and stop when you get to San Jose. And this one's not a real crossing, so all it's going to get is this. Vectron reckons a good stream. Thank you, Vectron. Does that mean you're on the way out? There's another UK car, a little Peugeot. Andy says the Steam page even shows UP stock in the screenshots. Yeah, it's all UP. I don't know why. Big buy, of course. What do you buy there? Bigs. Chauncey's cylinder gas. That's like Richie's fart in a bottle. Those containers must have come off Norfolk Southern. Been smooshed. There are a few American cars here, like the little post office vehicles. Wonder what happened if I did uncouple it now. Bang! Bad things, probably. Do the full equalizing. Pop. Excellent run. Park at the engine shed. What are you two doing? Eh? Andy says, I'm guessing when this came out, most of the assets were for European routes other than American, given the cars. Yeah, quite probably. So many Gretas, they blanked out the world. Those lights are going well. I like where the assets are disappearing off the station as you drive past. The posters and the windows were disappearing. What? He's by himself now. Oh no, there they are. There's a bloke over there taking a piss on the side of a car by the looks of it. Ah. What was that? This is called Train Sim Classic is about to explode. Yes, the devs could make custom assets for routes in Train Sim Classic, very much so. Surely it should wait till I've actually parked before it ends the thing. But no. Have we had enough of Fort Kent yet? What else have we got that's American that we could do a quick run on? This is all the standard ones. It's the problem with American routes. There's nothing that's really quick. Northeast Corridor. Is there any freight on the Northeast Corridor? Doesn't look like it. Ah, there's Ohio Steel. This one's quite good. Haven't done this one for a while. Another UP one in Ohio. Do I have anything Canadian? Well, there's a question. Not actually sure if I have anything Canadian. Look at Korea ones. See what routes we've got. We've got Alaska. That's close to Canada. Canadian mountain passes. Look at that. We do have one. ES44AC. Windmere Coal. Got a gold star. Ooh. For the Eldon Extra. I guess we'll run this one. Along the Kicking Horse. Mike Newbury's played it. Look at that. And it's 11:06. Yeah, probably puts us about the right time. Let's run this one. Let's do a Canada. Oh, it's these ones. These are the super realistic ones. I thought I refunded this route. Oh well. Let's see if it'll believe in the controller. We have to wait, apparently. It sounds like a caterpillar. We're waiting for another train. Oh, we are. Here it comes. Michael loves this route. Well, there you go. Andy says there's an issue when the next tiles are loading or something causing those glitches. That would be a asset that's potentially worked in the old versions of TSC and doesn't work anymore. Canadian potash. That's our back loco. No red lights though. Auto bells. Just what we don't want. So in about 300 years when this one comes past, we'll be able to go. One million years. And the ES44 sounds like it's powered by a caterpillar. Caterpillar diesels sound someone who's got a big drum of nuts and bolts and they shake them a lot. It's got mid-power, look at that. How long is this train? I'm going to grab some chippies while this train's coming past. I'll be back. Nature break and chippies, and do we have a green signal? We do. Very good. We should probably get out of here then. All right. Either way, it just moves off. I mean, you've got a train that's a mile long, you don't have to worry about pumping up the brakes or anything. You just go. I just saw your advice there, Michael. It seems to be going okay. It's got way too much power, but we won't worry about that. Seems to be happy. Can we open the windows? No, so it's not that experty loco thingy. It's the bog standard one. If we're getting this much noise coming through the mic, it suggests my filtering thing's not working. Let's have a look. No, it's turned off. How's that? Is that better? Shouldn't be able to hear me eating chips now. It's a pretty long beastie, isn't it? It would explain why you could hear the cat. Oops. Just make sure that's green. It is. Good. It happens on software updates that we end up with no sound filtering. This route certainly looks a bit better, doesn't it? Although the distant routes do look a little bit like a Rosalini. Still not. Some areas are a bit pox away from the train and up there. But it does look better than the other one. Let's see what the truckers can see, huh? Nothing. I'll have to remember to put a timestamp in the description to take you to the Canadian bit. Funny how the gradient's lessening out, but it's actually losing speed. I wonder why this route hasn't found its way into TSW. Surely another Canadian route would sell well. Syke seems to agree that it would beat Oakville. Michael says waiting for Jonathan Lewis from Milepost Simulations to make it. You should hassle him, Michael. Andy says maybe the other route didn't sell well, never bothered doing any more. Since we made DTG work outside the base 3. It would be a shame though, as routes like this appeal to me. I kind of suspect that Oakville was made to escape the you only do it for 3 countries thing. Because it used all the North American system, so it would have been a relatively easy build. Here comes our rear. Yeah, the desert lines are a little boring. It's a bad order car. Going a little bit quick, I am. A little bit. You don't like freight with a bit of ice cream? You could do with a tub of butterscotch, says Syke. Ooh, there's an idea. There's a flavour. Andy, on the hand, not keen on them myself, but boring and repetitive freight runs with scenery like this is much more enjoyable. I think it could be onto a winner there. Look at some of the other big ones that people feel. We don't really have any big mountain railroads. in TSW. This would look pretty good with the modern Train Sim World water. I reckon it'd be a bit of a winner. Like gorillas in the mist, we see the glimpses of the ES-44s. They are like this, but their sandpatch is pretty good. Clinchfield needs some work. How many times have you run a service on Clinchfield only to come around a corner and find a red signal? Looks good though. And I'm guessing we're going to be stopping up here somewhere, given that we have a less than green signal. And guess who wasn't watching the gradient increase? Too busy getting screenshots. One of the unsung heroes is the coal line coming off Horseshoe Curve. That one's actually pretty good. We don't get many substantial branch lines in TSW. It is let down a little bit by the unrealistic physics of downhill running in TSW. Big throbbers in the bush. Now we got to keep an eye out for signals. Because we might have a pass at the loop. Westbound out of Link Oil, you need to meet him at Palliser. I'll have you hold the main, but expect to stop at the end of Palliser. RTC out. Fair enough. And unlike TSW, in TSC, there's no point slowing down to get the signal. Because in TSC, the train just waits there until you get to a certain point, then it kicks off. Andy says, I imagine this route in winter with the snow would look stunning. Yeah, good day. Snow even makes a Rosalini look good, so yeah, you never know. You never know. Hello Hawks, how are you? We've progressed from Fort Kent to Canada. And it is still morning, just. A few more bad order cars hidden in the hills. At least you wouldn't have to worry about boxcar pirates here. Walk says Canada. You mean northern Minnesota? Mean. I'm not sure if it'll be this signal that's at stop or the one after. Let's go have a look. This one. Ah, that familiar. Woo? Could it actually sit here on just the locomotives independent? That's an interesting question. Because that's what we're doing right now. We'll see if it rolls. Here comes the other one. Now they'll be watching out for hobos who like hiding in these little holes in the cars. Could be here for a while. We actually in at the back? Oh yeah, all good. Just occurred to me I better clear this stop instruction. Because if I don't clear the stop instruction, the scenario won't work anyway. Oh no, maybe it will. But I'll still have to do this stop. Geez, it wanted to be pretty close to the signal, didn't it? This is not realistic. Hawk said it would be genuinely nice for DTG to bring some niche routes to the TSW series. I know some of them are third party and TS has a lot more time under his belt. We'll see what happens, I guess. I think we will see more small stuff with the third parties getting involved. There's a good viewpoint. There's a good viewpoint. Michael says, I've actually seen that. Watching a CP train bound for Calgary go past my place and saw two people in two different cars, called CP and reported it. They stopped the train and removed them from the train. Getting their free ride. It's actually quite common these days. It used to be a uncommon thing with just a smaller group of people, but they became YouTube and Insta famous, people like Shoestring Hobo, or Hobo Shoestring. So a lot of people do it now. Got a bit of an early sunset going on by the looks of it, but that does happen in the mountains. Pretty big route, isn't it? And there's the interesting bit there. A big double crossover. Canadian texture happy. Hawk says you must either really love being close to the railway line and rail fanning or absolutely hate it with the noise. Two yellows by the looks of things up there. Yep, two yellows. You live next to a commuter station there, Michael. What do you think, Greta?
How dare you?
That's what I thought. It is quite interesting that even with fairly simple visuals, it does for the most part maintain the effect of being in the mountains and the scenery. Lawnmower Man lived about half a mile from tracks for a couple of decades. Loved hearing the horn in the middle of the night. It's a lonely sound. If you're into lawn mowing, Skyhook's Lawnmower Simulator 2 should be out relatively soon because the Kickstarter that funded some of it was closed out during the week. And I had to give my details for my reward, which is a early copy. And my name in the credits. How about that? So you'll see Train Simulator Driver in the credits for Lawnmower Simulator 2. I kind of like helping them out because I heard the story firsthand of what happened to Skyhook from a Skyhook person who sometimes sits in my chats. Don't know if he's here today, but sometimes he is. And I felt doing a little bit to help support a small dev studio was a good thing to do. You should make a YouTube channel, Lawnmower Man, if you haven't already got one. Let's have a look and see if you do. Alright, train 101 out of field, put you in the passing track. You can expect a short stopping. We'd better deal with that then. No videos. But those YouTube channels that do a freebie for someone once a month or whatever do really well. There's lots of them doing that. Yeah, channel about mowing grass. Basically, their premise is they don't do it for they clearly run a lawn mowing business, and most of the time they get paid. But the other thing they do is once a month, or if they're feeling rich, once a week or so, they make a video of mowing someone's grass for free. So, you know, like an old person that can't afford it, or a single mum or whatever. And they put those up. And people really like them. Particularly when they put in the backstory around it and describe why they're doing it for free and that sort of thing. And people seem to resonate with that, and they get heaps of views. Which is weird because, you know, as someone who does it a bit, only mind, mowing grass is not exciting. In fact, I'm going to have to get my old ride-on, go and service the damn thing. Because we're selling our other house, which means I'm going to have to go up there and mow the grass. Because I can bet our lovely person who's in there at the moment won't do it before she leaves. Well, it's not too bad a job with the big ride-on, but I don't really use the ride-on here. There's no point. I'm sure with the views they get that some of those channels have probably gone on to just making lawn mowing videos and don't bother so much with the lawn mowing business anymore. They always have some kind of backstory, like the city was about to find this person because their yard's really overgrown, or they'll do something like that. They've discovered some amazing thing under the overgrown garden. The ones who seem to do particularly well is they're angling in a single parent or a veteran or an old person. The other theme that seems quite popular is doing it for an abandoned house, and they get the police called on them. Definitely a Caterpillar engine. In reality, they'd try and organise this so that both trains hit the siding roughly at the same time so that neither of them have to stop. Because starting and stopping trains is expensive. Because if we have a look, my bet would be is that that train is just sitting there waiting for us somewhere. Looks like that one. I don't know whether this one's 100% accurate, but there are lots of routes that are one-to-one scale, yes. Michael or Syke might be able to tell us whether this one's accurate or not. It's both from the region. There you go. Michael says this one's accurate. This stopping position's not particularly realistic, and the fact that I don't have to be on the brakes is not particularly realistic either. Is that going to be good enough? Yes, it is. Now, are we going to be passed from behind or in front? Be here a while, have some coffee and take a break. Oh, there you go. That's the end of the scenario. Well, there you go. That might do it for today, I think. So it's we had a bit of a play with Canadian mountain passes on the kicking horse. So that was a bit of fun. Why not? Good way to round it out. I'll pop a timestamp into the description when YouTube finishes processing it in about 9 days' time, because it seems to process the lives very slowly these days. They don't become you can actually play them on the day and they'll play, but a couple of days later they won't play anymore and it's processing them. It's Something weird. But anyway, I will be back in about 7 hours or so with Tsunami Line, which has been ages since I've been on it, and I thought I'd show it because why not? I think the TSW version's probably not that far off. I don't think right now, but soon. Soon. Something like that anyway. Alrighty, have fun, folks. Thank you very much for joining in with all the chat. Always appreciated, and always welcome to join in and chatter. I'm going to do something really exciting, like go and put my washing on. Sounds like fun, doesn't it? Alrighty, enjoy yourselves. See you later. And that.